U.S. Senator Kyrsten Sinema holds the key to negotiations on a $3.5 trillion infrastructure package. Coming up, what Democrats are saying about Sinema's strategy.
Plus, Arizona officers who died over the past 2 years were honored. We'll take you to this moving event.
And members of Congress took to the field in a rare moment of bipartisanship, all for charity.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Rudy Cavazos.
And I'm Raven Payne. Thank you for joining us.
Washington lawmakers have avoided a partial government shutdown after passing legislation today to keep the government running through December 3rd. However, the fate of President Joe Biden's $3.5 trillion spending plan is still uncertain. As Brenda Rivas reports, Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema is once again at the center of the debate.
Literally one senator, Kyrsten Sinema, is holding up the will of the entire Democratic Party.
In the statement from her office, Senator Kyrsten Sinema said publicly more than 2 months ago that she would not support a bill costing $3.5 trillion. However, she does support the bipartisan infrastructure bill. In an interview with Arizona Horizon, Jason Barraza says the timing is tough.
So that bill seems to have broad support. It becomes a timing issue because it's been tied to reconciliation, which Kyrsten has said that, as you noted, that she has a problem with the price tag on that.
Other Democrats, including those from the progressive wing, say the two bills go hand in hand.
Progressives and moderates alike are committed to the Build Back Better agenda. And this measure goes hand in hand with the infrastructure bill. Frankly, if we don't reduce taxes on working people and reduce the cost of child care and reduce the cost of job training, we will not have the workforce to make the infrastructure bill successful.
In her statement, Sinema says she continues to engage directly in good faith discussions with both President Biden and Senator Schumer to find common ground.
Hopefully in the immediate future, she's trying to make a bigger, better, stronger America.
Arizonans are hopeful common ground is good for our state. In Phoenix, Brenda Rivas, Cronkite News.
The state Democratic Party is threatening to censure Senator Sinema for her stance on the budget bill and her opposition to other issues they favor, including filibuster reform.
Arizona is mourning the loss of Navajo Nation weaver and voting rights activist Agnes Lafter. Navajo Nation Human Rights Commission says 60% of Navajo residents have trouble voting or don't have official identification. Lafter fought these issues by challenging in-person voting and restrictive ID requirements in Arizona. She was also part of a lawsuit aimed at broadening what could be used as tribal identification at the polls. The Navajo Nation Council says she passed away on Sunday. No cause of death was given. The 47th annual Arizona Peace Officers Memorial was held last night at the Arizona Capitol, honoring the fallen officers from 2019 and 2020. Cronkite News reporter Alyssa Stoney attended and talked with one survivor about why the night is so important.
17 fallen officers were honored last night at the newly renovated Arizona Peace Officers Memorial.
We will always support our officers, and the losses that we mourn today remind us of why that commitment is so important.
The night was emotional, yet filled with care and love.
Tonight is like, you always have this somber feeling, but it's also a feeling of hope and a feeling of continued love and support.
Jan Blazer Upchurch is a board member survivor. Her husband, DPS officer John Blazer, died from a drunk driver in 1990.
He was happy in doing that. He loved his job, and that's the thing that I think of him and like so many others. I just loved him so much and just was devastated at his loss.
The memorial was a way for the survivors of the fallen officers to honor and remember them while surrounded by people experiencing the same grief.
That is important, to reconnect with all of those survivors in nights like this, to where we're all together, we're all supporting one another and remembering and honoring our fallen officer.
The loved ones received a plaque and flag to honor the fallen officers. Blazer Upchurch has this message for the public.
And when they are injured and or are killed, we should always remember their sacrifice.
In Phoenix,
The officers have secured at Wesley Bowling Memorial Plaza.
Alyssa Stoney, Cronkite News.
Rest in peace.
There have been 25,161 line-of-duty deaths nationally since 1776. The Arizona fallen officers will also be honored next weekend at the National Police Week in Washington, D.C.
A new report from the Arizona Auditor General says most inmates don't have access to rehabilitation programs in Arizona prisons. The report found only 17% of inmates who needed substance abuse treatment were enrolled in the programs, with only 2/3 completing it. Less than half of inmates who needed cognitive restructuring were able to enroll. State law requires prisons to rehabilitate offenders, and Department of Corrections reviews show completing these programs helps reduce recidivism. State auditors say staffing and other limitations have affected the department's capabilities to provide rehabilitation programs.
23 endangered species native to the United States are likely extinct, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Of those 23 species, there are 11 birds, 1 bat, 2 fish, 8 types of mussels, and 1 plant. We sat down with the Associate Director of Northern Arizona University's School of Earth and Sustainability to discuss what this possible loss of wildlife means for our nation.
I think the frustrating thing in all of these cases is that extinction is forever. We hear that all the time, but you don't just lose the individuals. You don't just lose that last bird that was seen. You lose the entire genetic line. You lose every potential possibility of bringing them back.
No Arizona species were a part of the 23 that are believed to be extinct. However, Arizona is home to 44 endangered species that are at high risk, including the Mexican gray wolf and the Sonoran tiger salamander. Ellsworth Aslan says that the destruction of natural habitats and climate change go hand in hand in threatening our Arizona species.
On Wednesday night, the annual congressional baseball game pit Democrats against Republicans, but it wasn't your typical hardball politics. Lots of offense was on display as teams combined for 25 runs on 22 hits. Simon Williams has more from our Washington bureau.
Congressional bigwigs got the big league treatment here tonight in the congressional baseball game for charity, but it certainly wasn't major league caliber baseball on the field.
While the play wasn't spectacular, it was all the more fun for the fans who got to see their representatives on the diamond. Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego and Greg Stanton suited up for the Democrats. Stanton represented a local school with his uniform.
This represents Mesa Community College. We have the best community college system in America, and I have one of the best community colleges in my district. So I wanted to honor the young players on the team and the school, and they gave me a couple of uniforms, and I told them I wear both.
Stanton went 1 for 2 with the double, while Gallego cheered from the bench. It's a tradition dating back to 1909, and one he enjoys the most.
It helps me build great relationships with my teammates, and we need that in Congress. We're dealing with some very important issues, some very contentious issues.
He said it's a chance to build relationships with his peers across the aisle as well.
You know, dealing with people in a way where, hey, it's nothing personal. We like each other. We're friends. That helps make the legislating process a little bit easier.
Bipartisanship only goes so far, as Stanton's 7th-inning pop-out sealed the Republicans' 13-12 win.
As Stanton said, it was a brief respite in contentious D.C. politics. We'll be back at it tomorrow, trying to get through an infrastructure bill and stop a looming government shutdown. At National Park in Washington, Simon Williams, Cronkite News.
The Republican win was the first in 4 years and just the second in more than 12 years against the Democrats. But it gives the GOP a 1-game advantage in the series with 42 wins compared to the Democrats' 41 and 1 tie in 1983. The Tier 1 water shortage on the Colorado River is impacting Arizona farmers. Coming up, why farmers in Yuma are confident the drought will not affect their business.
The break where Arizonans awoke to a winter wonderland. The Tier 1 water shortage on the Colorado River is impacting agriculture in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Samantha Bird went to the lettuce capital of the United States, Yuma, Arizona, to learn more about the issue.
In August, the U.S. Secretary of Interior declared the first ever Tier 1 water shortage for the Colorado River. This will result in less water for agriculture in Arizona in 2022.
Snowfall and rainfall on the Colorado River watershed has been decreasing. We've been in a drought condition.
Central Arizona agriculture will take the first cuts.
Specifically for the Tier 1 water shortage, that's affecting farmers primarily in Pima County.
I'm here at the Colorado River in Yuma, Arizona, that supplies water to agriculture throughout the state. Yuma County agriculture has a high priority right to just under 1 million acre-feet of water from the river.
Because we get our water from the river, not only do I watch my weather, I also watch the weather in the western Rockies.
Yuma supplies over 90% of leafy greens and vegetables to North America from November to March.
There is a genuine argument to be made that we provide the strongest agriculture economy in the state of Arizona here.
Because of this factor, Yuma County agriculture has the most senior water rights in the state. The Tier 1 shortage does not take any water from these farmers.
The risk levels that need to be tolerated on farms and food production are so much higher. And local weather and long-term climate has a huge impact on that risk calculation.
Farmers in Yuma say they work hard on preserving water resources, and they are confident the drought will not affect their business. In the studio, Samantha Bird, Cronkite News.
Sunrise got a nice surprise this morning. Snow. A blanket of white covered the slopes at Sunrise Park Resort. The park says it received 2 inches of snow overnight for a taste of winter on the last day of September. According to the National Weather Service in Flagstaff, this is the first time this fall temperatures in that area fell below freezing.
It's finally snowboarding weather in parts of the state, but it's still 90 degrees in the valley. Alyssa Stoney is in the Weather Center with your report.
Yes, residents in the eastern part of Arizona did see some snow this morning, and that's going to continue throughout the next couple of days with also some rain in the forecast for those areas. But down here in Phoenix, we are not going to be seeing those cooler temperatures. We're still going to be at 90 degrees tomorrow. And up in Flagstaff, the high is only 63 degrees. As you can see, the western part of our country is also experiencing those hot temperatures with 85 degrees in Las Vegas and 83 degrees down in San Diego. But as you move further east in our country, you can see that those cooler temperatures are there with only 63 degrees in Albuquerque and 70 degrees up in Denver. If you're planning on heading out for the evening, let's take a look at what you can expect. We're still going to be at 85 degrees by sunset and then cooling down to only 78 degrees by 10 p.m. As far as this weekend, it's going to be warmer with 93 degrees on Saturday and 95 degrees on Sunday, but there is going to be some cloud coverage, which may give us a break from that blazing sun. Next week, we're going to be warming up as well with 97 degrees on Monday, but on Tuesday, there is a 20% chance of some rain with a high of only 82 degrees. In the Weather Center, Alyssa Stoney, Cronkite News.
I'm Jack Johnson. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Here's what's on deck. The Suns hope to have a hot season. We'll show you what they have to say about their unfinished business. Welcome back. I'm Jack Johnson. Here is your Cronkite Sports Report. The Suns are gearing up for a new season. They came close to winning their first NBA title this summer, but the loss to the newly crowned Bucks has them hungry for more. Cronkite News reporter Jaden Sormani was at Suns Media Day this week and gives fans a look at what to expect as training camp got underway.
Lights, camera, action. When the Suns took the podium, their flame was as hot as ever. After just missing out on their first NBA championship in July, the team is focused on completing unfinished business.
Starting from the beginning, and now that we've been to the finals, we know that it takes a lot. So it's going to be, a big-time effort from now until, however long this thing takes us.
The biggest thing is that hunger, that underdog mentality that we had last year. I think we got to keep it. We got to keep that same energy going into this year.
It was a short yet productive offseason for the Phoenix Suns. They were able to retain guards like Chris Paul and Cameron Payne, as well as bring in championship DNA like JaVale McGee and role-playing guards like Landry Shamet.
That was a huge part of the short break was, trying to bring in people that we thought would be a good fit, but also challenge me and help me grow as a coach.
I had a great season with these guys, and I wanted to do it again. I felt comfortable being around the fans, being in the city, and I just feel comfortable here.
One guy they look to keep in the fold is DeAndre Ayton, who has yet to sign a new deal, but he's hopeful that he can stay in the Valley long term.
We definitely can set the foundation of how we play and what our culture is like, for the other guys. And I think guys that we added to the team will adjust.
As for Devin Booker, he comes in with an Olympic gold medal in hand, and as soon as he returns from COVID protocol, he hopes to continue his winning ways and capture that elusive NBA title. In Phoenix, Jaden Sormani, Cronkite News.
The Suns open their preseason on October 4th in Sacramento, where they will take on the Kings. After a tough loss on Tuesday against Las Vegas, the mighty Mercury are hoping to bounce back. They're looking to even out the series tonight as Coach Sandy Brondello recognized the greatness of the Aces guards, believes her team needs to be more aggressive in tonight's game.
They're quality guards. I mean, they're tough, and they certainly did hurt us. But, we didn't quite execute how we wanted to in the first game. So it's mere, but, we probably just need to be a little bit more aggressive and make it, don't give them those open ones, making sure we know their tendencies a little bit better than what we did. And I thought that was a little bit of mental fatigue, quite honest. So, we've got some adjustments in place, and now it's just going out there and executing them.
Sun Devil basketball fans are happy that Marcus Bagley is back. The forward withdrew from the NBA draft in July and will be a key piece to Bobby Hurley's squad this year. Bagley was on hand at Desert Financial this morning and talked about his role as the team gets ready for a season that features at least 9 nationally televised games.
First, making sure I can sustain high minutes in a lot of games. So that's the first and foremost, and just improving all points of my game, my leadership, using my voice more. I've really never been like a vocal guy, so that's one of the things I'm working on this year. And
while Bagley is looking to be more vocal, Coach Bobby Hurley is preaching defensive fundamentals, and he hopes that this year's team, which is bigger and stronger than last year's roster, can generate more stops.
I don't think you're going to see a team that's trying to steal the ball like we were last year. I think that was our bread and butter on defense. I think hopefully we'll be a little more traditional in terms of being able to generate stops, in a more sound way, just because I think we're going to be a little bigger, a little stronger, have better wingspan, more length. So I think there are things defensively that we can improve on.
And finally, Arizona native and former Olympic swimmer Cleet Keller pled guilty yesterday to one of 7 federal charges related to the U.S. Capitol riot on January 6th. Keller graduated from Arcadia High School, located here in the Valley in the year 2000, and trained at Phoenix Swim Club. The 5-time Olympic medalist competed in 3 Olympics, earning 2 golds, 1 silver, and a pair of bronze medals. He pled guilty to obstruction of an official proceeding and agreed to cooperate with authorities as part of a plea deal. He could face jail time. And that is going to do it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Rudy and Raven, let's go back to you.
A different kind of surfing competition took place in Huntington Beach, California. Surfing dogs take over the beach and the competition when we come back.
Surf's Up! California's best surfing dogs flocked to Huntington Beach for some doggone fun over the weekend. Cronkite News reporter Jude Binkley takes us to the event.
The dog days of summer aren't over yet. Canines came to Huntington Beach to compete for barking rights in Surf City Surf Dog. The competition shared the beach with the U.S. Open of Surfing. Dog breeds of all sizes came to hang 20 in this unique sport.
I don't have to put him on there. He's a 100-pound dog, so he gets on if he wants to, and he just jumps right on.
Speaking of which, here we go right now.
He's barking, yelling the whole way out until he gets on the board.
Today's competition was divided into several categories based on dog size, tandem surfers, and dog-human pairs. Now, while there were winners in today's events, what mattered most for the competitors were the smiles on everyone's faces.
You look here today, everybody on this beach is smiling. And it's because we all love the dogs. And the dogs will do anything for us. They're just out here, they're having a great time.
Over its 11-year history, more than 500 surfers have participated in the event. From Faith the surfing pit bull, to Derby the golden doodle, to Guinness the English bulldog, dogs of all sizes hit the waves. Known as Surf City USA, Huntington Beach frequently hosts pro competitions. Even if the pups don't have a good ride, they're here to have fun. And for their owners, it's a chance to strengthen their bond with man's best friend. In Huntington Beach, Jude Binkley, Cronkite News.
Surf City Surf Dog also showcased pet adoptions and raised money for several animal rescue charities.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.